Hi, we're going to go through the process of modelling an investment property purchase within a self-managed super fund using a limited recourse borrowing arrangement. To do so, you need to first ensure that you've got the SMSF created in a fact find module so that you have the ability to use it when modelling in strategy. For this particular situation, we have a client and spouse who are both investing all their superannuation funds in an SMSF. There's currently $310,000 in that SMSF, and all of those funds are currently invested in cash. We're going to assume a property purchase price of $500,000 with purchase costs of $25,000. This is going to be funded with a loan of $300,000. The remaining $200,000 deposit and purchase costs will be funded from the cash account. So to do this, we first need to come into the client detail area and select Super. We then open the SMSF and come across to the Asset Mix tab. The first thing we're doing here is adding the withdrawals from their existing cash account. To do that, we come down to the bottom, we add a lump sum withdrawal. The first option is going to be for the deposit, and the amount is $200,000. We're then going to add another withdrawal, this time to cover the purchase costs. And that amount is $25,000. We're then going to come across to the Loans tab and add the loan for $300,000. It's happening immediately, so it's going to remain as start. The amount will be $300,000. Going to assume an interest rate of 6% and interest-only repayments. I'm now going to come across to the Fees and Expenses tab and add those expenses of $25,000. They're going to be non-deductible because they'll be added to the cost base of the fund. With all that in place, what's left to do is come back to the Asset Mix tab and add the investment property. To do that, select Add, choose Investment Property. It's not existing because we're purchasing the property, so you need to make sure you change this to say Start. The amount will be $500,000. However, I'm going to replace the cost base with $525 to take into consideration those purchase costs. Once that's done, select OK and OK again. To look at the impact that purchase has on the SMSF, you can drill down on the super fund's cash flow by coming across to the super fund option and selecting Summary. From here, you'll be able to see both the inflows and outflows of the fund, and you'll be able to produce your sustainability calculations that need to be included in your statement of advice. What you'll also need to include when modelling an LRBA is the additional costs the SMSF will pay for managing the property, also managing the SMSF, so the ongoing compliance costs, and also any advice fees. So to do that, go back into the client detail area, Super, and again the SMSF, and we come to the Fees and Expenses section. From here, this is where you can add both your regular and your lump sum expenses. So a lump sum expense, for example, could be your initial advice fee. Your regular expenses could also be your regular advice fees, but it's also things such as property management costs and the ongoing compliance and audit fees, all which need to be explained in your statement of advice. Once all these have been set up, if you select OK, you can now come back and look at a more detailed analysis of the SMSF's cash flow to see whether or not it's going to be sustainable for that fund to purchase the SMSF. With the expenses, you'll see here that they've all been lumped together under one option. But if you were to drill down a little bit further, you can actually see a breakdown between both your regular as well as your non-regular expenses. When producing the statement of advice, it's important that these expenses are broken up so the client can see exactly what is comprised of those ongoing expenses.